There is a phrase you say. You say it almost automatically. It bypasses your conscious mind and rolls off your tongue before you even realize you've spoken. I've got it. Or perhaps, I'm fine. You say this even when your chest feels like a hollowed out drum. You say this when your schedule is so tight that the space between breaths feels like a luxury you can't afford. You say this when you are sick, when you are grieving, or when you are simply carrying too many grocery bags up 3 flights of stairs. You do not ask for help. In fact, the very idea of it, the physical sensation of needing someone else to step in, triggers a microspike of adrenaline in your blood. It feels less like relief and more like a threat. You are the reliable one, the low-maintenance friend, the partner who solves problems but rarely shares them. You have curated a life where you are the architect, the builder, and the sole inhabitant of your reality. And on the surface, this looks like strength. It looks like competence. It looks like success. But late at night, when the emails stop and the hum of the refrigerator is the only sound in the room, there is a heaviness that settles behind your eyes. It is a specific kind of exhaustion. It is not just the fatigue of work. It is the fatigue of holding up the sky. You are not just independent. You are suffering from hyper-independence. You have convinced yourself that needing others is a flaw in the system. But what if I told you that this fortress you've built isn't keeping you safe? What if I told you that your independence is not a trophy, but a scar? To understand this, we have to look past the symptom, which is your competence, and look at the cause. We need to introduce an archetype. Let's call him the captain, or let's call her the fixer. Let's look at this avatar. The fixer believes that if they stop rowing, the boat sinks. They believe that their value to the tribe is entirely predicated on their utility. They have equated love with service and safety with control. If you are watching this, you likely identify with the fixer. But here is the crucial diagnosis. Hyper-independence is not a personality type. It is a trauma response. Specifically, it is a survival adaptation, often rooted in what psychologists call parentification or complex attachment trauma. Let's break down the mechanics of your nervous system. When we are children, we are biologically designed to be dependent. It is the only time in our lives when taking without giving is not just acceptable, but necessary for survival. We need co-regulation. We need a parent to soothe our amygdala, the alarm bell of the brain, when it rings. But for the hyper-independent adult, that childhood transaction was broken. Maybe your caregivers were emotionally immature. Maybe they were absent, addicted, or simply overwhelmed by their own chaotic lives. Maybe you learned at age 6 or 9 or 12 that expressing a need resulted in rejection, anger, or perhaps worst of all, silence. So your brain performed a miracle of neuroplasticity. It rewired itself. You learned to suppress the instinct to reach out. You learned that you were the safest place for your emotions. In attachment theory, we might call this an avoidant dismissive style. But I prefer the Jungian perspective. You developed a persona, a mask of invulnerability. This was not a mistake. I want you to hear this clearly. You are not broken. You are highly adapted. When you were young, being the strong one saved you. It minimized the blast radius of your parents' unpredictability. It earned you praise at school. It kept you safe. You buried your needs so deep that you forgot they were there, creating a shadow self, a dark bag where you shoved everything that made you feel weak, small, or dependent. The problem is that you are no longer in that dangerous environment. You are an adult now. You are safe, but your nervous system is still running the software from 1999. You treat every offer of help like a Trojan horse. When someone says, "Let me handle that for you," your brain doesn't hear kindness. It hears, "I am going to take control, and then I'm going to let you down." So you say, "I've got it." And the tragedy is, you do got it. You are incredibly capable. But the cost of this capability is a profound, aching loneliness that no amount of achievement can fill. Here's the pivot. Here's the uncomfortable truth that the fixer, the captain, and the strong one does not want to hear. Your hyper-independence is not actually independence. It is a fear response. It is a flight response disguised as standing your ground. You are running away from the terror of being seen. True independence is the ability to stand on your own 2 feet. Hyper-independence is the inability to let anyone else stand next to you. Consider the concept of the gift. When you refuse help, when you snatch the check at dinner, when you refuse to let a partner see you cry, when you insist on driving yourself to the airport at 4 a.m., you are actually hoarding vulnerability. You are telling the people around you, I am strong enough to handle my pain and yours, but I do not trust you enough to handle mine. This creates an imbalance in the ledger of your relationships. It keeps you in a position of power, yes, but it also keeps you in a position of isolation. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist, spoke often of the shadow. He believed that until we make the unconscious conscious, it will direct our lives and we will call it fate. Your shadow is the needy child. I know that word, needy, makes your skin crawl. You have spent decades building a life designed to disprove the existence of that child. You have degrees, you have savings accounts, you have gym routines, you have armored yourself against need. But that child is still there, and because you ignore them, they are sabotaging you. They are the reason you feel sudden, inexplicable rage when someone asks you a simple question. They are the reason you crash into burnout every 6 months. They are the reason you attract partners who are projects, people who need saving, because your subconscious is trying to recreate the dynamic where you are the strong one because that is the only way you know how to relate to intimacy. The counterintuitive truth is this. You are exhausted because you are fighting a war against your own humanity. You are trying to be a god. You are trying to be a being, without needs, without limits, without the messy, sticky requirement of other people. But you are biology. You are a mammal. You are designed for the pack. And denying that nature is like holding a beach ball underwater. You can do it for a while, but eventually your arms will fail. So, how do we put the beach ball down? How do we dismantle the fortress without feeling naked in the cold? We do not do it with a sledgehammer. We do not destroy the persona of the strong one, because remember, that part of you served you well. We honor it, we thank it for its service, and then we ask it to step back. We move toward what I call integration. This is not a 5-step list. This is a philosophical shift in how you view your own existence. It is the shift from independence to interdependence. The Stoics believed in self-sufficiency, yes, but they also believed in cosmopolis, the idea that we are all limbs of the same body. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "To feel affection for people, even when they make mistakes, is uniquely human." He could have added, "To let others feel affection for you, even when you are broken, is uniquely brave." The path forward involves micro-movements of vulnerability. It starts with the small things. It starts with the nervous system. Next time you are struggling with a physical task and someone offers to help, your reflex will be to say, "No, I'm good." Catch that reflex, hold it in your throat, and try, just once, to say, "Thank you, that would be great." Feel the anxiety rise, watch it, and then watch the world not end. Watch the other person smile because you gave them the gift of being useful to you. You must begin to parent the inner child you abandoned. When you feel overwhelmed, instead of cracking the whip and forcing yourself to work harder, try speaking to yourself as you would a scared friend. "I know you're tired. It's okay to rest. The world will not collapse if you pause." This is the work of integration. It is the process of merging the competent adult with the vulnerable child. It is learning that you can be strong and supported. You can be the captain and let someone else take the wheel while you sleep. Imagine a bridge. Hyper-independence is standing on one side, alone, shouting across the canyon that you don't need a boat. Codependency is drowning in the river, begging to be saved. Interdependence is the bridge. It is walking to the middle, meeting someone there, and realizing that the structure holds you both. You have carried the weight of the world for long enough, Atlas. You have proven your strength 1,000 times over. No one is questioning your resilience. But you were not put on this earth just to endure it. You were not made to be a monument of stone. You were made to be soft, to be held, to be known. So, take a breath, unclench your jaw, drop your shoulders, and let someone in.